So I've gone around the top of this leg and I've gotten back to my chain. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to, instead of don't join back to this bit where you went up, that chain 3, we're now going to go into the chain and work some double crochets across that chain. Okay, so for this side we're going to go under 2 and over 1 of the 3. Okay, so we get over that chain. Right, and then once you're over to the other side, if you've got a tail, just work over your tail. Okay, just keep going as normal into the top of that leg, and then work all the way around that leg, and I will meet you back once I have got to, it's gone all the way, oh, so I'm showing my hand. Once I've gone all the way around there, and once I get back to this side, I will meet you there. Okay, so I've now come back to that middle crotch bit. I'm just going to work, make sure you work into the beginning of that chain, otherwise you end up with a sort of little hole. It can be quite difficult to go in, but you've really got to, otherwise that'll leave a little gap there and it won't look very good. Okay, now where the chain is, instead of working directly into the chain, we work in between the stitches, because otherwise that just doesn't quite work. Pull that through, and then that will just makes it look right. You can see what I'm doing on there. Okay, so between that stitch, and then you won't be able to see the chain at all by the time you've finished. It should be completely invisible, that chain that we made across. And then we're gonna join to the top of that chain 3 to start with. Okay. And then, like the legs, we're just gonna chain up 3 and keep working up the rounds again and again and again until we get back to the top of the nappy. Okay, so we're sharing the table with Jessica and her dinner. Hello, Jessica.
That one doggy.
You got doggy hoops, right? So I have now done above the crotch, and I've done 14 rows. Anyway, I've done 14 rows now. I'm going to show you this in case you're doing colour changes like as you go up, like I sometimes do. Yes, Jessica. So for the ribbing, you need to start, just do a normal, completely normal row of half double crochet in whatever colour you want your ribbing. So don't start your ribbing rows in a different colour. You need to start on the colour you want them in. Does that make sense? Probably not. So chain up 3, pull that down, pull that tail down to lock it in, and then always do it off camera, and then back into the one you've just been in, working over the tails, and just do one round of half double crochet just as you normally would, and then when you get to the end of that round we will start working this into ribbing, and it will give you the ribs to put the tie in to tie it up so it doesn't just slide down off the baby. And I'll meet you back here. Okay, so I finished the black row done a black double crochet row all the way around because I'm going to be doing the ribbing in black, and this, although it's flat at the moment, once I start doing this row it's going to pull it into ribbing. So I'm going to be doing it in treble crochet. So I've chained up 3 already. You go over the hook twice, so you've got 3 bits. Then you go, this is quite difficult to see, but nice and close. So you go behind the post, not through the stitches at the front. So you see like that, then pull it through there, then pull through, through 2, and then through 2. And for the next one you wind over it twice again, and for this one we're going to go behind the post and then pull through from behind it, if you see what I mean. And then through 2, through 2, through 2, and we're going to keep doing this like forward and back all the way around until we've gone all the way around. And we're just going to do 1 row of treble crochet, and then we're going to go to doing double crochet, and I'll come back to here and then I'll show you how to do the next row. Right, I don't know how we can see that, but I've now finished doing that treble crochet, and now I've got ribbing. See, ribbing, and this row here has quite nice large holes that you can put the string through to pull it tight. So for the next row I'm just gonna do double crochet around. I'm gonna do exactly the same, but you just need to be really careful to make sure you go in and out of the right posts. So make sure you go behind the forward posts and you come in front of the back posts. Sit down. You need to go in front of the back posts like that. Just do double crochet for this row. And that will just keep the ribbing, but I mean it's nice and closed again, so you've got a bit of space above the tie, so the tie won't then dig into baby's skin. So I'm just going to work all the way around, then at the end we're going to tie off, we'll stitch the end in, we'll make a cord, and then you will be done. You will just need to lamellize it. How simple was that? Lovely jubbly. See you in a minute. Right, so I've double crocheted in the ribbing backwards and forwards kind of thing all the way around. I'm just going to go into the top of that first chain that we did in this row. I'm going to just do a slip stitch. I'm going to leave myself a little bit of a tail, not much, just a little bit, 3 or 4 inches will do. I'm going to pull it through, sorry about that, I'm going to tie off, and then I'm going to work my tail in with one of these. If you don't have one of these, but you've got a really tiny crochet hook, you can fiddle it with that if you need to. So I'm just going to push that through. I'm just going to work it along until I get to the back of a post, because that's the easiest way to work it down, and then it won't, if it does fray at all, it won't fray where you'll be able to see it. So then just work it down the back inside of your post. Okay. Right, along to there. And then I normally just wind it in along the back of the row. Put it along as much as you can. The more you've got wound in, the better really. And then just put it through. And then if you've got a little bit of a tail sticking out, just chop it off. So I've got a little tail left. So I've now got, I'm just going to lift this up, I've now got a pair of longies. We're looking from the back, but there's the front. Look how pretty they've come out. I'm impressed. So I'm just going to put those to one side now, and with my leftover wool I'm going to show you two ways to make a tail. You can either just do a normal chain, or if you want something a bit thicker, if you think a chain would be a bit flimsy, you can do this. So you make what, 2 chains. So you make a chain and then you've got the bit on the hoop. Then go into the first chain and pull through that. Oh, wait a minute, I've gone through that hoop too. See me? There we go. And then pull through the first one. And then pull through both. And this is where it's a bit tricky. Now you've got that first hoop that's here. It's very difficult to see. See if I can show you. Really difficult to see. So, you see, just get this yarn needle to help me show you. So there are 2 hoops. There's this hoop here, which we're going to ignore. And I'm just going to push it in there, like so. Here, you see there are 2 loops. It's very, very difficult to show you. This dark coloured yarn, I should have done it with like nice pale colour. I'm going to work into this second one away. So this loop here. Okay. I'm going to go in there. It's very difficult to do with the needle in. I'm just going to show you. So look like that. So you've got one there. Anyway, I'm blabbling. We're going to pull through the first one and then through both. And we're going to keep doing this to make a nice long chain. It's quite fiddly, quite long-winded, but you do get quite a nice thick chain. As you can see there, it's quite wide. And then you can just wind in your ends. Or if you don't want to do that, just do a completely normal chain and just, it works quite well. If for instance you want it a bit sturdier than just a normal chain, sometimes working it on a hook that's half a size smaller will work really well to make it really nice and tight. But if you just work, it's quite a quick way, quite easy, and it works completely fine. I've got it in quite a few of my because I've got the other one in a few. This one works just as well, to be honest. If you're using a really thick wool, like a super chunky, I've done for one pair, I used a lot of wool for that one there, that took 400 grams, then this one is completely fine every time. I wouldn't ever do the other one for a super chunky wool because it would be huge. But if you're doing it with double knitting or something like that, then you probably want to do the other one because this won't be big enough. It would just be really weedy and thin. But I'm doing it with aran and this is working quite nicely. So I'm just going to continue doing this and I will come back in a minute when I have finished. Okay, so I've done my chain. Now the way I work out how long I need it is I do it 3 times the length here. So I'll do sort of just this kind of rough. So I've got it done 3 times and that's the same length as the width of the circle. So that's how I do it. And then I find like the centre, I push it behind the post, just wind it through, pushing it behind all the front posts, so it's all the way around, and it looks good. And you should have a couple of little tails hanging down the front, and have to be able to tie it up.